I think we have been through this phase before, where we see movie and it sticks in our head so deeply that it's impossible to forget about it. Here today, we will be discussing about similar anime movie, that is A Silence Voice. Before moving, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, then subscribe to it and hit that bell notification so you don't miss our future update. A Silent Voice is a 2016 Japanese anime drama or film which is produced by Kyoto Animation, which is also based on a manga of a same name, written and illustrated by Yoshitoki Omima. The film follows a former bullied turned social outcast who decides to reconnect and best friend the deaf girl he has victimized years prior. The film received high positive review from critics, with praising going on the direction, animation and the psychological complex of the character. It has a devoted fan following all over the world. The story begins with high school student Shoya intended to kill himself, but he changes his mind at the last minute and decides to wrap up loose and end. A flashback reveals Shoya as a 6th grade student in elementary school, during which a new student named Soko joins Shoya class and it reveals to be a deaf. She tries to integrate with class but ends up being an easy target for Shoya and his friend to bully. When word of the bullying reaches the principal, Shoya is signed out as the culprit by his teacher, resulting in a class bullying becoming directed toward him. Shoya blames Soko and the two get into a physical alteration. Soko is then transferred to another school and Shoya later finds a notebook Soko left behind and keeps it. The film relies on delicate and rich theme. Yamada used flower language to reflect feelings and personalities of a character. Here, Soko is contrasted with the white daisy, symbolizing purity, and the blue or red settlement, which can represent posture, living taking, but also deep affection. Cherry blossom often enclose Soko and Shoya. They appears when the two first become calm. In this anime, fireworks are a metaphor of a briefness of each single moment of life. Both scenes with the firework anticipated the suicide attempts of the two protagonists, reminding them of their hopelessness toward life. The film occasionally shows short dream sequence. The architecture scene in the background describes the protagonist's inner life, recalling Michelangelo's work. In other scenes, the lack of harmony of a character is deprecated by oversized picture in the room. Let's move to the story. Being outcast throughout middle school of his reputation as a bully, Shoya now in high school is a depressed loner who is unable to look other in the eye and envious as an X-mark people. To wrap up his loose end, Shoya goes to return Soko's notebook at the sign language center and apologize, but then panics and asks to be friend instead. Shoko accepts his offer, letting Shoya to endeavor to make up for his bullying of Shoko. The things became kind of difficult when one day Shoya accidentally drops Shoko's notebook into a river. He then jumps in to retrieve it, which is prohibited. Not to forget, Yuzuru, Shoko's younger sister, take a photo of Shoya jumping in and post it online to get revenge on him, eventually leading to Shoya getting suspended. Shoya and Yukizuru, who ran away from home, and bring her to stay at his house when she leaves in the middle of the night. Shoya follows, and the two make up and become friends. Shoya and Soko reunite with Miyuko, a classmate from elementary school who was friendly to Shoko. Shoko later gives Shoya a gift and confesses her feeling for him, but because he tried to speak her affection rather than singing them out, Shoya misses her. Shoya invites Shoko to an amusement park with Tomio, Miyuko, Mikakawi, another classmate from elementary school, and Satoshi, who is Miki's best friend. Further surprise, there they are joined by another classmate from elementary school, Naoka, who had also bullied Shoko alongside Shoya, then who drags Shoko into a Ferry wheels. Naoka voices her feelings of hatred for Shoko, blaming her for creating a rift between her and Shoya, with whom she is obsessed with. Yuzuru, who has been secretly recording the encounter, shows the video of this to Shoya. Desperate to remain blameless for her part in bullying Shoko following the leak, Miki exposed Shoya's past to the students who were obvious to it. Later she attempts to apologize to the group, but Shoya blows everyone off. When he sees Naoka remains indifferent, Shoya later learns that Shoko and Yuzuru's grandmother died recently. To cheer them up, Shoya takes them to the countryside and sees that Shoko blames herself for everything that had happened to him. Soya decides to devote his entire social life to the sister. The narration of Shoya's story started from his past to present, describing how he slips to the lower end of the life of a hierarchy that he established at the beginning. From his perspective, it is shown how bullying can affect an adolescent's psychic and prove his flexibility. We cannot unsee that Soya faces many challenges, which include the rejection of Soko's mothers or the avoidance of former classmates who don't want to confront their past behavior when he and Shoko work through their past. As we already discussed about Soya's alterations and inability to stare at his fellow people are symbolized by the cross, which has a very deep effect on his behavior. This behavior is often emphasized by camera framing, which avoid the faces of people around him as Soya strains away from his eye contact, often focusing on the body language instead. In some face-to-face conversation, Soya's interrogation's face is cut out of the frame, the empty space left behind him achieving an unsettled effect of the viewers. Many people do not take note on these things, but for me, I think these are the most important assets to understand the movie. During the firework festival, Shoko goes home. Soya follows when Yuzuru asks him to get her camera. When he arrives, he finds Shoko standing on the balcony about to commit suicide. Soya succeeded in grabbing her and pulls her back up, but falls onto the river below. He is rescued by his former best friend in elementary school, but slips into a coma. Hoping to help Soya, Shoko meets with each of the group members to explain her Soya's situation. One night, Shoko dreams of receiving a farewell visit of Soya. Horrified, she runs to the bridge and collapses in tears. Soya, awakening from his coma, stumbles to the bridge and finds that there's he apologizes for the way he treated her. This scene is very beautiful. Sometimes you might cry as well. Then he asks her to stop blaming herself and admit that while he once considered ending his own life, he had since decided against it. Soya then asks her to help him continue to live, to which she agrees. When Soya returns to his school, he is reunited with his friends and comes to understand how they are still caring for each other. The friends goes to the school festival together and Soya finds that he is finally able to look people in the eyes. Again, as he envisions the X mark falling away, looking around as his family and all the new friends he has met, Soya tears up knowing that he finally redeemed himself. For most of the people, the movie is just a film, but people who really understand the meaning behind it, they shed tears in many scenes, including me. The visualization of the movie is extraordinary and it's really engages people. While watching this movie, I'm sure that you will never know when it's ending and you will want to watch it again and again. Not to miss the statement that I said earlier that this is the movie which is almost impossible to forget and you will fall in love with it. Okay guys, so this is it. So if you love this content, then please hit the subscribe button and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss our future update. Till then, keep watching our channel.